guys, Midget here, bringing you another Walking Dead video review. Today is episode 9 of The Walking Dead called After, and I'm so pleased to be reviewing the other half of The Walking Dead. You know, finally it's back. Finally I've got a chance to review it. And just so you guys know, I'm not gonna you know how it came out last Sunday for the Americans and for English came out, I don't know, but for me it came out last Monday, but I was at a football game so I didn't manage to review it, but I'll review it now. And don't worry, I'm not going to do this every week, I'm not going to be a week late every week, you know. As far as I know, another episode is coming tomorrow for the Americans and in 2 days for me, so in 2 days, or in 3 days, you'll see another review for episode 10, and so yeah, let's get straight into this review. It starts off with Michonne at the prison, you know, the only person at the prison. I don't know if she came back or she stayed after the war, you know, after the whole huge battle in episode 8, Too Far Gone. I don't know if she stayed there or she left or she came back, I don't know. But she sort of did what Morgan did, you know, putting up those pillars, and she went back to her old style of life. If you don't know what her old style of life is, you know, she got the 2 walkers, and she chopped off their hands and jaws so they were basically harmless, and she just, you know, did what she did before, you know, with those other 2 walkers or with Andrea. So you see Hershel's zombified head, which is absolute amazing, you know. I love how the fact they didn't forget about Hershel, you know. It showed Hershel's zombified head, but just before that, you see the governor's zombified head and all, but no, not zombified, the governor's dead 100%, you know, he's dead 100%, but I'm going to talk about that a bit later in the, like, little question section after the video. So Michonne stabs Hershel, Hershel's head, and he puts him out of his misery, you know, basically being a walker. And then there's, Carl gets mad at Rick, and they raid some homes and motels. You know, I don't know, to be honest, why he's mad at Rick, you know, where he's just like sprinting on. Well, he's not really sprinting, you know, he's walking really fast, and then Rick's like, slow down. I don't understand why he's angry at everybody, maybe because what he said afterwards, but I'm not going to say it until it comes up, you know, when I have to talk about it. So they go up to this motel, I think it was a barbecue shack or something, and you know, there's this walker, and this person left a letter saying, do something, do this that do something I couldn't do, something along those lines, because they couldn't kill this walker, so they did that. They stole the supplies and went, you know, away just for something. And then there's the flashback of Michonne at home, and it's, you know, it's with her husband Mike, I believe, and this random person, and you know, you see a kid, you know. This is like, you know, before in season 3 when she was crying with Judith, he was like, why is she crying, you know, and finally we get to see why. They were like talking about their plans for the future, you know, because I think the zombie outbreak broke out basically, and then all of a sudden you just see all this, you know, beautiful colours go to bleak dark, and you know, her husband and the other guy next to him with no arms, like, you know, she does to the walkers. So I was like, oh, is the 2 walkers that she had before in season 2 or 3, is that the walkers, is that her husband and his mate or whatever? And so Carl and Rick enter this house where they decide to stay, and Rick, you know, he's overprotective right now, you know, he's emotionally, like, he's just emotionally screwed up basically, and also physically erupt, you know, because he can't do anything, you know. When you see him in the motel where he tries to take out the walker, is, you know, it is a big walker, but he got his axe stuck in the walker's head, and so he couldn't really take it out, and he was like, don't shoot Carl, but Carl shot nevertheless, because it looked like Rick was going to lose a fight and he's eventually going to get bitten or something. So it wasn't that scary a moment, but it looked like he was going to get bitten, so nevertheless Carl shot him, and then it turned out that's where the problem started. And then when they get into the house, Rick's like, be careful. So Carl gets really angry, and he starts banging on the doors going, if there were any walkers in here, they'd come out by now, and he goes, hey assholes, hey shitheads, and I found it funny, and then Rick just gives him a little, what's your language, you know, it's alright, and Rick goes to bed and goes into a mini coma, I presume, or he just doesn't wake up for whatever reason, and Carl comes down, you know, when he wakes up, and what happens basically is 2 walkers like start banging on the door, because like Carl, you know, starts shouting at Rick basically when he's dead. He's like, I don't need you, I don't need you, you decided to play a farmer instead of protect mother, you know, Hershel and blah blah blah. So he decided to do that, and he went out to the walkers, and what happened when he went out to the walkers? The most predictable thing ever happened. He tripped, you know, how, seriously, The Walking Dead, you know, who makes The Walking Dead, you know, AMC? No, they don't do that. Maybe AMC, no, because that's the channel. Whoever makes The Walking Dead, don't make it so predictable, because I knew from the start where he was doing it. I was like, just shoot him now, because you're gonna eventually trip. And it sort of didn't look, you know, it wasn't a trip, to be fair. He did trip, but it wasn't as I thought it would be, you know. I thought you'd just trip backwards, but it was a walker that, like, sort of pushed him. That's why, basically. And he ends up killing the walkers and manages to take them out, you know, take all 3 walkers out. Then he comes back and then he shouts at Rick when he's in a coma, he's saying he doesn't need him. And then he walks out and goes, this is a nice place. So he goes into this random house and goes into this random, you know, house across the street, and he's just like, finds some pudding, you know, gets the pudding, and then he goes upstairs to check all the rooms. There's 3 rooms, 2 of them don't have anything in it. Again, the most predictable thing, in the last one there is something in, and it was pretty much jump scare, because, you know, if I was predicting that there would be something in there, but the fact that it jumped out straight away, you know, that's the awkward part, because I thought he'd open the door and there'll be a walker in there, not like he opens the door slightly and he just goes, you know. I didn't predict that, so it did sort of jump scare me a bit, and then he has this massive face off with the walker, you know. He runs out of bullets eventually, because he falls on the floor and shoots 2 bullets into the ceiling, and then he basically traps the walker. Well, I thought he was going to get bitten. I seriously thought he was going to get bitten when the walker grabbed his shoe, but he managed to get out the shoe, you know, close the walker, and the walker was like coming for him straight away, but he kicked the books out just in time, and then he managed to close the door, and it was kind of a humorous moment when he wrote on the door, I think it was something along the lines of, walker inside got my shoe but didn't get me, and I love that, because I love it how in the middle of the zombie apocalypse people are allowed to have a little bit of humour. Then you sort of see chilling, relaxing, and chilling on the roof, where the walker hand just going out that window, and him just chilling and eating the pudding. It was a really good place. And then you see Michonne obliterating a dozen walkers, you know. You see the walker that does look like Michonne, and, you know, she eventually gets kind of scared and she just annihilates all the walkers away. I think they realised that who she was in the end, you know, because they started coming for her. I don't know if it's because they saw, if it's something that, like, if they see someone doing abnormal movement, then they go after them. I don't know. But then she decides, I presume it's because she didn't want her old way of life. She wanted, you know, to track Carl and Rick back. So I think that's what, you know, happened. And then in the next scene you see, like, Rick's hand, sorry, zombified hand. He tries to attack Carl, and I was like, oh no, why is Rick dead? Because my friend was telling me at school that Rick died, and I was like, I didn't watch the episode, because he went up to me and he went, Rick's died, auntie, to this player, and to this other person who didn't watch it, and I was like, I didn't watch it, and I was like, yeah, he died. So then I went, did he really? He went, yeah. I was like, oh no, what? No, he couldn't have. And then Carl's like about to shoot him, but he just starts crying and goes, no, I can't do this, just eat me. And then I don't know why, because Rick starts going, Carl, don't go outside. But, you know, I don't understand why he actually did that. He didn't talk to him in the first place instead of, you know, doing something weird. And when he fell on the floor, he's obviously in a lot of pain. He didn't even grunt or anything. So, I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. That he didn't speak to Carl, but never mind, you know. Whatever. Just when, yeah, like I said, just about when Carl shoots him, you know, Rick talks to him saying don't go outside, and they have this little nice talk, you know, which is nice, in a nice, polite manner to each other. They talk about, you know, Rick goes, I love, the way that you brought some food back, and Carl, you know, goes, oh yeah, thank you, but I ate some, and then, like, Rick asks him what he ate, and it's like 103 kilograms of pudding, and I was like, damn, you fatty. I kind of liked it. But again, it's this humorous bit that just that defines people from the walkers. You know, humor, people, walkers, death. You know, it's not just about the death. That was really good character development from Chandler Riggs and Andrew Lincoln. You know, it was really nice. And so Michonne is coming closer now. She sees she almost walks into the house with the walker inside, and she sees that pudding thingy, doesn't she? And I was like, oh, come on, you have to find them, because she was like halfway down the street, so she missed so many houses, so she could have literally passed their house. But she saw like the pudding, and she like goes up to the house, and then she starts like crying, you know, like kind of happy crying, and then she knocks on the door, and then Rick goes up to open the door with his gun, and then he just like stops, turns around and laughs, and Carl's like, who is that? And he's like, someone for you, and it ends there, you know. It was a really good episode. Don't get me wrong, it was an amazing episode in my opinion. I loved all the character development in it. It was a really good episode in terms of character development, but I thought it was missing something. It was a really good episode, but it was missing something. It just didn't keep me interested, you know, that much. But nevertheless, that's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because it was a good episode, but it failed to intrigue me into it, like, completely. Like, I need to tell you guys one thing, so don't say I don't do anything for you, because I had to wake up at 1:45 AM to watch this episode. I was so tired, and that's why I look like nothing today, because I don't have a shower, so my hair's really greasy. But nevertheless, it was really worth it watching it, but it lacked something, you know. But I'm not going to judge it on that, so 8 out of 10. And now let's move on to the question section. So I like the way 3 characters instead of like, there was only 3 characters showing, instead of like having rushing all of the characters free. And I like probably the next episode is going to be like Daryl, Maggie. However, you know, I like the 3 pair episodes instead of you know, rushing through every single one and having basically no idea where everyone is still, because, you know, if you're rushed, then there's no point of having it, basically. And I loved how they showed day and night, and I counted that there's around at least 3 to 4 days from the prison attack, so I counted that, yes. And was Hershel's head necessary? Well, I guess it wasn't, because you just want to forget about it. It's not that it was sad in my opinion, but it wasn't really necessary, you know. It wasn't the best animatronic filtering, something along those lines, because it wasn't CGI, but it just wasn't necessary, to be honest, you know. I like that they included that bit, but it wasn't really necessary. Again, we saw a brief view of her governor's head, and he is also dead 100%, so there is no way we'll see him again, so, you know, I just wanted to say that. And when more people come back together, if ever, you know, I think they're gonna come back either in the last episode of season 4 or around midway through, or, you know, the first couple of episodes in season 5, which is definitely confirmed. So yeah. And then Carl mentioned Shane in front of Rick. Is like, it's a really awkward scene where he goes, well, like, Rick starts saying something, and then Carl says, I know how to tie a knot or something, and Shane taught me, do you even remember him? And then it gets really awkward, and Rick goes, yep, I remember him, I wake up to him every single day, or something along those lines, you know. So it was kind of funny having Shane included when, you know, he did all those bad things to Rick, you know. I understand why, again, I'm not going to go into that, but did you guys think Rick was really dead when he reached out for Carl? That's one question for me that I want to say. Well, did you guys think he was really dead? If you do or don't, just make sure you comment down below. And when Rick was in a coma and Carl gave Rick that speech, was it true? That's another question that I want you guys to answer. Was it true, you know, that he played farmer instead of helping everybody? Because for my argument, I want to say that he got everybody food, and, you know, there was other people for the roles to, you know, to fight. And, you know, when people call Rick their leader, he kind of did step down, so I don't understand, you know, I understand he was their leader for season 1, 2, and 3, but he did step down, so it was like a council, wasn't it? So you can't really blame it on him. However, you can in some sort of way, so, you know, I understand why Carl said that. And in the end of this episode, is it the most funny, humorous ending we will ever get? Because, I'm not saying the best ending, but the best funny, humorous ending, because, you know, it always ends on a cliffhanger or something serious, and today it was like, someone's waiting for you, you know, it wasn't, serious. So is it the best non-serious ending we will ever get? Just, that's another question. Damn, I'm gonna get loads of comments with loads of these question answers. Yeah, so it's really nice. And then, we can now expect Michonne, Rick and Carl together, so this could be one badass group together, you know, like, because Carl is really turning into Shin 2.0, and Rick is sort of, I'm guessing he's gonna recover soon. So I'm really happy about that, you know. Michonne, you know, she's lost everything, so she's gonna be a monster like she always was. Why did Michonne go weird at the walk that looked like her? Well, I think that she went weird because, it sort of looked like her, and that she by doing what she did there, that old way of life, she was basically dead. You know, because the walker looked like her and it was a walker, she thought she was dead. So she had to get rid of him and go back to the old way of life to stay human, if you know what I mean. And then we know that Judith's fate is revealed. Links in the description. I'm gonna just give you 3 seconds to either stop this video now and move on to 10 seconds later, or so count down from 10 and I'll say it and you have to wait 10 seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She lives, guys, so hopefully you just missed that if you didn't want to know if baby Judith is alive, but she does live. It's pretty much sure, as you see in the links in the description. It's going to be at the bottom of the description. And I really like this episode, so that's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So hopefully you enjoy this episode, guys. I'm going to do another one in 3 days, so I'm going to review episode 10. I can't remember what it's called, but so hopefully enjoy this episode, guys. This is Midget, and I'm going to see you guys next time.